Hello friends, welcome to another live coding session on Uno platform. I hope you have joined yesterday's 5.2 release webinar. It was amazing, it was fun, and we really enjoyed showing all the new and greatest things that we implemented in 5.2. If you have any feedback or questions on anything that you missed yesterday or did not manage to ask, I will try to answer or point you to the right person to answer those questions. But for today's live coding session, I would like to focus on some new APIs that we could implement. And I've picked two things actually. So first up, there is TextBlock in WinUI. Let's say search for the documentation. This is not WinUI, this is UWP. The search is always a little bit fuzzy on this. So I try to enter WinUI, then I also use Mux to force it to show me the Microsoft UI XAML controls namespace, and usually that works. So the TextBlock should have a property called copy selection to clipboard, method called copy selection to clipboard, and method select and method select all. I'm not sure which one of those are implemented on which platforms, but my goal would be to bring those to be supported at least wherever the text selection is supported right now. We definitely have it on Skia, and we definitely have it on WebAssembly. So those are the main targets I want to take care of today. So let's see how far that goes. So let's go. I will make sure I'm targeting .NET 7, that's the case, and then let's do Skia. So if you are working on some Uno platform app, let me know what you are working on. It's always inspiring to see people using Uno platform to build cross-platform apps. So I'm definitely interested in what you're building, what you're creating. All right, so we have here the Skia solution, and I will just close everything so it's nice and clean. And let's go to TextBlock. Let's see why it's opening on the different screen. So let's see, like TextBlock CS, and we have selection. So highlight color, but we would like to, it's interesting, we don't have text selection highlight color on WebAssembly. I would think that that's implemented as well, but yeah, let's first focus on what we have planned. So there should be select all. So this method, and that we can see is implemented on Skia, and it's not implemented on WebAssembly, or at least it seems so. So that's one thing that we can take care of. Well, maybe is text selection enabled? Is text selection enabled? That property is enabled. Let's go to that one. We need to figure out which targets we are supporting this property on, because even though, and that's not the one I want, even though it's marked as supported, it's actually not implemented on these targets except for WebAssembly on Skia, and that makes sense because the text selection is something that requires an actual native text to be shown, to be interactable, and on Android and iOS we are rendering that text in the given rectangle kind of, and it's not interactable text actually. So on these targets we do have actual text there that's native, so those targets support selection. Let's see, select all. Okay, so it's not here. I think it's gonna be implemented here in Skia. Select all. Yeah, so there is this method select all, which kind of just sets the selection property, which is private for Skia, or not. It's actually a text block property, and on text selection, on selection changed, has an implementation on Skia, and on WebAssembly there is none. So that's why it's not currently working there. But is text selection enabled? Has is supported on WebAssembly, so we set selection enabled class, and that should work. So there is nothing blocking us from supporting this on WebAssembly, at least so far. So that's good. So selection, text selection is one thing. So let's see, select all, and it should be public void method, and we could move this one to cross runtime, because if we are going to support the selection on if the selection property is in the main file, we can just move this Skia implementation to the general file as well, or the cross runtime file, because this file is shared across WebAssembly and Skia and the reference implementation, which is kind of in the middle and is just there to provide support for cross-targeting between WebAssembly and Skia. So that should be fine. So I will just add the comment there, select entire contents of the text block, and there is also the select method, and I will search for that one, because if we do support it on Skia, we should be able to support it on WebAssembly as well. So select, okay, we don't have it there, but maybe it's gonna be easy to add it. So there is start length, but that's for text box, and we want text block. Okay, let's see, text block, that's this one, select. So the tricky thing here could be the text pointer class, which we don't support yet. So I think that's the reason why we don't have this method yet. So maybe let's skip this for now. Let's keep the select all first, because that's going to be easier. So I will mark this as implemented on these targets, just to remove these two from here, because we implemented it there. And we would also want to have the copy selection to clipboard supported. So let's mark it as supported, and then go to the implementation on Skia. And if I'm not mistaken, this code is actually completely fine, and we can support it on WebAssembly as well. So it just uses selection, which is there, and it just uses data package and clipboard set content, and those are all completely cross-platform API. So I will take this whole method and move it to cross runtime as well. So that's good. Now let's see, copy selection to clipboard, and we can copy the selection, selected content to the Windows clipboard. Let's make some adjustments to usings, nothing too major there, and we should be good to go. So this method, as long as the selection property is correctly set, and we will need to verify that and make sure that we set it when the user selects the text in the browser manually. If this works, then the copy selection to clipboard will also work as well. So that's good. Select all. We'll select all the text. So we'll set the selection to be from 0 to the length of the text, so that makes complete sense. And yeah, I think that's fine here. Let's see what we can do to implement this. Oh, S1, or let me just fix the global not implemented attribute. So we have select all, and copy selection to clipboard. Now, okay, so on Skia, both of these things were already implemented, and I want to see if there is some test that verifies this. And it seems there is. But I'm not completely sure if this test will apply and work on WebAssembly, because it does input injection, and I'm not sure if that's supported completely there. But we can definitely test for select all and copy to clipboard and then paste into a text box afterwards. So we can make a quick test method here, which will do copy and paste all text. So, okay, so we have this here. Basically, it takes a text block, selects all, copies selection to clipboard, and then verifies that clipboard get text, which does not exist in bin UI. We'll have to adjust this. So our data, yeah, let's get content, and yeah, this is exactly what we need. Async task, and this is it. This is on Skia only, I see. Okay, so those were Skia specific tests. I want this one to be more general, so let's move it to here, I guess, for example. Copy and paste all text. So because this one, we don't want to run it in a blocking way. We will just get the text, await, get text async, and compare it. All right, so let's run the code. Hello, MCNets. And run this. Right, let's wait. I'm just currently building the Skia target to see if that test passes on Skia, just to verify it, and then I will go to the WebAssembly part for implementation. Hello, Jose. So have you enjoyed yesterday's webinar? Was it good? All right, here we have the WPF application running. Yeah, a session about migrating WPF to Uno. Yes, that would be quite interesting, I think, because many people are asking for migration paths, and WPF to Uno is one important one. So definitely we should make it, and we do have some docs for migration. But yeah, maybe what would be nice to have is to have an open source WPF application that we could take and migrate in a series of live coding sessions from WPF to Uno platform. If you know about some relatively simple WPF application, so that it doesn't take hundreds of hours to migrate, maybe that would be a good showcase or idea. some simple, relatively simple WPF app, on which we could show a case, at least the basic steps, and to take it from WPF and to Uno. So if you know some app like that, that would be a great start. Let's see. Yeah, thank you for that nice words about the seminar. It was we had to really prep it properly this time. It was many things to prepare and to really showcase everything, because it was a very big release. So we had to figure out what to include and how deep to go, and it worked out, I think, pretty well. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy about the results. The problem here, it doesn't seem to... Okay, so it worked. It didn't work the first time, and it works the second time. That's interesting. Why didn't it work the first time and now it does pass completely fine? Oh, right, because now it's in the clipboard. But if it's not there, it... Okay. I think I might know what this is. Copy selection to clipboard. Let's see the implementation here. WPF. Yeah, this one. Yeah, because it has to happen on the dispatcher asynchronously. So, call here. All right, let's. Yeah. Yeah, this is because it's happening on the dispatcher. And the question is, why is this the case? Because I don't think it needs to happen this way, especially if you're already on the dispatcher. Why is it delayed? Let's see. The macOS implementation also does this. The GTK also. Every single one of them does this, except for X11. That does, it seems, synchronously. But why is it delayed? I need to know. When was this changed? Okay, so here. Okay, so that's not relevant. This one. And it was already done this way initially. Like it might be because if it's not on the UI thread, it will fail. But yeah, and it seems that it has to be asynchronous there because of storage items. But the other ones, for example, text, okay, get text async. Oh, so it's getting the text asynchronously. So it takes a moment to write those data in the clipboard. So I think it's fine here to do wait for idle. And one more thing is that even though this works in Uno right now, we should first wait for the text block to be loaded. Because if it's not loaded, the selection doesn't make any sense. So I'm pretty sure that on WinUI would fail. So let's see if this does work. All right. Okay, the breakpoint broke it, but if it's not with the breakpoint, it does work properly, which is fine. So this is the copy and paste all text, and it works on Skia correctly. So now let's move to WebAssembly and see if it's possible to implement it properly there. I'm not completely sure if this test will be possible to run in the CI, because on WebAssembly, if you want to access the clipboard, you have to give permission to the browser to do that. And I'm not sure if in the context of running runtime tests, this permission is done implicitly, or if the explicit confirmation of that permission is needed. And if yes, then this is not going to work. So, but for local testing, it should be fine anyway. Right, so we have the test there. So let's do TextBlock across runtime. So we have the selection property, and we are not actually handling on selection changed. So in case of Skia, let's see what is done there. It's basically just doing the selection in native way. So we should be able to do a similar thing here. And what we can do is to make this easier for us. We can take inspiration from TextBox. So TextBox, WASM, selection start, selection length, select, then there is selection changed. Selection changes. Okay, so there is an event selection change, but I don't think that's okay. It's there as well on WebAssembly. Let's see if we are supporting it on Skia. We are not. Oh, so we probably should support this one as well. Okay. So we can probably take this to the shared code. So this is going to be the shared event for selection changed. Let's move it underneath the constructor so it's nice and tidy. There is some documentation for it, I guess. Yeah, of course, when the text selection has changed logically. So this event itself is not going to be support, it's going to be to support, oh, actually, we can move it to the cross runtime file only. Right, that's better. So in the cross runtime file, the selection changed event will be handling the selection, and we will mark it here as implemented on these three targets. So let's delete this and delete this from here. Okay. All right. Just to be tidy here. Okay, so we have TextBlock cross runtime selection changed, and when we do the selection, on selection changed handler should trigger selection changed event. So you invoke it with new routed event args, and it's, yeah, for now there is nothing to report in there, so I will keep it just blank new routed event args, but maybe later it will it should contain additional information like original source. It can be this because it's coming from the text block. So maybe like this is fine. So the selection, select all, and then we have so range selection. So that's range, okay. So let's go back to WebAssembly here. And we need to figure out how to select some text in via JavaScript, I guess. So if we do select here, what it will do is select input range. And that method is implemented here in Window Manager interop. And yeah, that's the interop implementation. Okay. So let's go back, select. So we will need something like this, but not exactly because it's going to be a bit different. Window Manager interop. Native methods are here. Oh, these are the ones. Okay, that's what I need actually. I need something like this. So for TextBlock WebAssembly, I will create TextBlock interop wasm. It's going to be partial. We actually had some typical pattern in which we do this, so I will just check so I don't do it differently from the others. Native interop wasm, yes. So yeah, so the namespace is __, and it's wrapped like this, so it's internal static inside of that class, and the outer class is internal partial, and it's gonna be __uno XAML control. So hopefully this way it's gonna be correct, and then the implementation itself. So something like this, but it's gonna be something like select range or star in start and end. This, and this is not the right namespace. In my case, I will go to something else entirely. So in TS Windows UI XAML. We don't have controls namespace yet, so Microsoft UI XAML controls TextBlock select controls TextBlock TS. Just steal this. So we will have Microsoft UI XAML controls, export class, TextBlock, and we don't need this. So in here I will have a method called public. So it's gonna be, let's see, I will want this to have select. We need to have two things. We need to have selection, so it's possible to select something from code. Oh, this why Why does it get generated? I don't want this here. Okay, so it's done automatically now for some reason. It didn't do that before, so I'm not... Huh, it doesn't do it for this file though. Okay, so it's probably in the CSproj somehow. Oh, there's a lot of mess. Well, I don't need this line. Okay, but it doesn't explain all that mess that's happening there. Well, I will just have to probably ignore it for now, but cannot say I like it. Yeah, but it's generated for everything I see here, so yeah. Well, I guess that's fine. Okay, so let's go back to here. So it's gonna be public static select from number to length number. Maybe I should have length instead of void. This is the right syntax, I hope. Yeah. So select with lowercase, and the code here and in the interrupt should be in length. Right. So, and now I need to reference the right element as well. So let's see how the text box is doing it. I don't exactly remember what's the trick there. So HTML ID is passed as the argument, and that one is int pointer. So HTML ID number TextBlock was int pointer. IntelliSense is very slow here. So this should be enough. So now with TextBlock I can take the TextBlock boson one and do the selection. Oh, TextBlock boson. Right, this one. On selection changed, I can call native methods, and I need to import those. Using static uno UI TextBlock, and I do native methods there. HTML ID blank. Okay, so start and okay, length should be there. Oh, okay. So and minus selection start, and this is exclusive and right. It should be, I think. Oh, we can verify it later. So this should select that range of characters. And then the copy to clipboard is already implemented, so that's nothing to do there. So yeah, okay, so it's inclusive. The end is, so it's if zero length, so it gives you the end is exclusive, so that should be fine, because now if I subtract, it's the remainder, so it should be fine. Okay, so if let's run this on WebAssembly and we'll see what happens. So this is the first direction. The other one would be selection from JS. So selection change event. And we should be listening to that event when the selection is enabled for TextBlock. Okay, what's here? Clipboard doesn't exist in this context. Okay, so it's just missing using because it's here. Yeah, okay, system namespace as well. Now it should be good. All right. Okay, so we have the website up and running, web app properly. So web app is up and running, and let's try the API. So select, and we made a mistake there, I think. Yeah, we need to allow copy paste, and it seems to work. But that's probably because I already had that in the clipboard. Oh, it seems that it works. Okay, so if I have this in clipboard now and run it again, I should have some text there and it works. Okay, so that's pretty good. Although it should not have worked actually, because the selection is not possible on the text because it's not selection enabled. So even though it does work, it should not actually work because the text does not select itself. So what I will do is I will adjust the test to be is text selection enabled, true, and this will make it selectable, and it will make it possible to actually follow the selection changed event as well. So I will close this, let's close this one, and let's run it again. So now the text should be selectable. And we should see actually the visual of the text being selected. So now it did nothing. It seems frozen, but it's now selectable, so that's good. The selection doesn't seem to be happening there, which is interesting. Let's see if the console doesn't say anything, but this doesn't say anything useful. And it just gets frozen there. Huh. It's interesting. Why doesn't it do anything? Select all should be selecting the text. So let's see if we can hit that breakpoint in the console. The source is here, no UI, select all, select. Okay, text block. So we should be hitting this go. Oh, I did not implement the selection even. That's probably a problem. So, but we're not hitting it anyway, it seems. For some reason. We should be. So okay, that's multiple. Okay, so it's hitting that breakpoint. Okay, so that works. I don't understand why there is such a big delay between clicking the button and it hitting the breakpoint. That's kind of odd. And it's doing the selection one time, second time, third time. So many times. Voice with length 0. Many odd things are happening here. Right, so we need to step back from this a little bit. Select all, let's see. The text length must be correct. And we should be right away after that hitting the on selection changed. The selection end should be the length. If we remove 0, we should get length there. And calling select should call the correct method, which is doing it. Okay. And now here we should be able to do something like element, yeah, get element by ID, and yeah, we are implementing text selection into Uno platform. So we are implementing the text selection API support in Uno. I'm trying to understand how the select text. So we have the text is represented by a paragraph in JavaScript. So JS paragraph select range. Set selection range, but it's on input element, but I want something else. This is not an input element. Okay. Let's really create range and set start, set end. Or I'm not completely sure this is gonna work, but we can try it. But this is for paragraphs, so I'm not sure there is gonna be any child nodes like that. That sounds a little bit strange. So JS select text programmatically. It's all about input element, but yeah, of course. I did use the Copilot suggestion, but I'm not sure if this is gonna work. So I can try it, of course, but I am not completely sure if that's gonna be correct, because it assumes the element is not a paragraph. It is just a chunk of HTML elements, and I want to select a number of them, but this is text itself, this is paragraph itself. So we can try also select all text in paragraph. As again, input element. Let's see, does it? Okay, it's already built, so this should be. Oh, come on. I need to refresh this. And we should be having the latest version of the sources, but it's not there. Okay, so it didn't compile properly. Nope, it's not there. Let's see. Make sure to rebuild this. And now it should be better. So selection text partially. Okay, so we have first child 2, first child 4 to get the range within the paragraph. Oh, what are you complaining about? Because this is on. Let's see. So that might be actually good. TS 0 from plus length. So it might be actually correct this time. Oh, thanks for the subscription. What's your favorite technology to work on? And have you tried Uno platform yet? Okay, we have samples app. Let's see what happened. Oh, I don't want to run all the tests. I just want this one. No. That was a mistake. Right, we want just the test that's called, how is it called? All right, copy and paste all text. Ooh, it seems to be kind of frozen here. Ah, nice. Well, you can check out Uno platform. It's a open source solution for building cross-platform applications. So you can build a single piece of code that runs in .NET, and it runs on Windows, on Linux, on WebAssembly, on Android, on iOS, all the different platforms at the same time. So that's pretty cool, right? It's a fully cross-platform app building solution, and it has many extensions on top of it, and it has many different controls that you can use. It's very versatile for app development. So, okay, so this is not yet working. Let's see sources, package, and see what is happening in the code there. It's now running faster. Not sure what was the previous slowdown there. TextBlock. Should be getting the selection, so let's see. I cannot set the breakpoint. Okay, I can. All right. So we have. Oh, I'll be hitting the breakpoints here. I would prefer not to, but okay. range, remove all ranges, set at range, and that's adding the ranges there. Okay. Like that seems that should work, but this is wrong. This is definitely wrong. Why is it giving us these values there? That is the problem, because if it wasn't, then the selection would actually contain something. Let's see what's happening here. We are hitting this selection changed, and the value is 0, 0. For some reason there is on text change on set text. Okay, so that's just updating the selection value there, so it's not relevant to us. Let me see. Okay, we can stop hitting this breakpoint now, right? So let's undo that breakpoint there. All right, so when we start that method, we should be getting the selection once, and that's for the select all method. So here, if I put a breakpoint and run this, we should hit this, then we should get a proper selection in this location. Okay, so we need to set the breakpoint instead here. So once again, so here we put a breakpoint, then we go here, and we should have a proper selection value. That's right. Locals, right, because we are hitting it too early. And now if we go here, we should have the proper selection, which is, yeah, to 9. And now if we hit the breakpoint here, we should have that value in there as well. So that's 0 to 9. That's correct. So if we go here, should have range, end of set 9, and start of set 0. That seems okay. But yeah, okay, that makes sense, because we are then overriding it with empty selections overall, so that makes it unselect the original selection. Hello, Gabriel. So that explains the issue we are seeing, I think, because we are seeing it remove all ranges, and that is actually the problem there. So on selection changed should have also a check. So if is text selection enabled, then we do the selection. And also if selection start not equal selection, and or maybe, yeah, and because it's a range, but we are working with it like it's a length thing. So this is end of the selection. Yeah, I guess it is fine. But this probably should not be there either, because that would remove selections from other text blocks when you're adding a new selection to a different one. So this should always only work with the selection for the specific text block you are currently focused on. So the question is if there is any documentation available for publishing of desktop exe and web deploy and Uno's new single project solution. And I am afraid there is no specific documentation yet, and we are working on that. Definitely, it's gonna be added quite soon, hopefully. On the other hand, the deployment or publishing should be relatively the same as before, because when you select a target that you for debugging, the publishing option should be available in Visual Studio. And if you're building on CI, then you just build the target that you specifically want for that specific case, and then you do the publishing with the artifacts that were built from that target. So if you want to publish that on Azure, you just take the WebAssembly output and you send it to Azure for deployment. So it should be relatively the same as before, just a little bit different than before, because we have now a single project instead of multiple. So what's happening here? I may probably hit some breakpoint, but it's waiting for the debugger. Thank you for that nice words about the webinar. We tried to make it as fun as possible, so hopefully it worked out. Yeah, and the single project feature is extremely like daring, because there is zero support for this in Visual Studio, and there is a lot of hacks involved to make it work. And we hope that Visual Studio team will improve the support and make our lives easier in that regard. But for now, it's what it is. It's not really that reliable because we had to make many workarounds to make Visual Studio work specifically. And hopefully it will improve, but it's not there yet. So we have to hope that all the quirks that we had to work around in Visual Studio can be removed later when Microsoft makes the changes that we need to make the Visual Studio support better. On Visual Studio Code, we have more control, and plus it does support the multi-targeting better. So all the workarounds were not necessary there. So TextBlock. So the code is there. Okay, so we're hitting this with the right values, but yeah, this is because of the clipboard manipulation, and I don't see that selection happening there per se, which is odd. It should be working, and we can verify it actually, and we can run the code from the console. If we know the IDE, we should be able to run it from the console. So Microsoft UI XAML controls TextBlock select, and the ID, where is it? Yeah, I want that paste, allow pasting. Meh. Okay, so now you let me. So I need this ID. I need 0 to 9. And I was selected before, so let's do it again. As we can see, it does not select. At least visually, it does not select. If I do 8, same situation there. So I do 1, 8, still. This is kind of problematic. So there must be something wrong with this code. We can do it manually here. So if I do selection or range, create range, range dot set start. Now I need the element, so I will get the element and get element by ID. The ID is this one. Yeah, so that's a text block, and I will do range set start command child, first child. Okay, first child 0, range set end element first child. For example, 5, and I do selection and range. There's nothing. Hello, Dominic. Seems like it does not update the selection. So weird. The API does not. It's not really clear to me. I'm also in the wrong browser. Yeah. Good job on your part, Dominic. It was fun. So this is a very nice website describing selection, but I don't see it working. Selection, Windows selection. So it's okay, so I can and here it works. So what is the difference? Okay, so this is very odd, really. I don't see the reason why this shouldn't be selecting the actual text. Huh. It's, yeah, that is so weird. The text is not being selected, but it does seem like the selection is there. We can actually try one more thing here. If I go here and select text, the new ID is this one. So I can do create range. I will do element by this ID. And I will do range. Set start element first child 0. Set end element first child 5. And I get, what was that? What was that code to get the contents? Console right log, just the range itself. Okay, so range console log range. Ancestor container text. Okay, if I do directly the element itself, there is no child at offset 5. This, like, it's working on the same, it's the same code basically. So what is the difference here? Still the same thing, it's just giving me undefined, and the common ancestor has the data, so that's good, but nothing really useful there. Yeah, it should return the contents as string, but that doesn't seem to be happening. Oh, okay, it does. Okay, so I was just outputting the wrong thing, but it does return the text. So at least something we know that works. And now if I do then the window get selection add range. I'll just unselect everything just to make sure. Then it doesn't do anything. It's frustrating. And even this doesn't do anything that useful. Remove all ranges. If I do that, it removes it. And now it has worked. Okay, so it really does seem like you need to do remove all ranges to make the selection stick. Range count now is 1. So the selection is there. I'm not completely sure why Microsoft is removing this feature. It was a useful one, especially for debugging of Android devices. Instead of connecting your Android device, just running it locally on the system was easier. So I don't see the reason. I don't understand. The reason is probably some kind of financial reason, but it's not a developer-friendly decision, unfortunately. So I'm not happy about it. But what we can do, right? So okay, now it's not working again. But that is because I removed that element, so now it's not there. Okay, so I can, we can try this at least. We'll see what happens. We can do selection, remove all ranges, and add a range, and force that to be selected. It doesn't seem like the correct solution because you could have multiple selections at the same time, but remove all ranges. But maybe that's just what it is in the browser. So we'll see. Let's rebuild. A question to you all could be, what would you want to see in future live coding sessions? What specific areas of Uno platform should I look into? What maybe even issues that I should work on the live sessions? Maybe it could be fun to get kind of viewer-driven decisions on what to implement next. So let's see if we can win the fight against the browser, which is so far very, very strong component. Here we go. All right, so now we have the text selected. Finally, it is doing the right thing. So you can see selected text, and that is good. That is very, very good. Right, so that part of this problem is now working. So select all is selecting the text, and copy is copying the selected text. Although we don't have this, we don't update the selection from the text block itself. So what we need to do is also subscribe to that event and to unsubscribe from it there. So selection changed. No, that's definitely the wrong one. But we would, what we would like to do is to listen to the selection to be able to get the currently selected text from the paragraph. Maybe there could be an API for the selection itself. So HTML paragraph get selected text. Okay. So you are getting the range which gives you, and you can get the text that's selected from there. So maybe the proper way to implement this on WebAssembly would be to have a specific method that would give you the currently selected text and copy that to clipboard instead. So maybe let's do it like that. So I will have a method that's gonna be get selected text, and we will get our element, then we will get, okay, so yeah, that's very useful suggestion by Copilot. So we'll get the selection from the window, and we'll find the range that contains, that is related to this current element. And if that element is there, we just get the range to string that will give us the selected text on this specific element. So this way, we can more easily implement the copy selection to clipboard that really is related to this specific element. So even though originally it was a shared method, I think we can move it back to Skia specific code here, and we can do a WebAssembly specific version of it in the WebAssembly file. Stop it. This part will be the same, so we'll be creating a data package, setting the content, but we will be calling a method to retrieve the selected text. And for that, we will also need to add that method here. So just import get selection. Yeah, thank you. That's very nice. I think that's also the name I used there, right? To get selected text. So I will rename this to here. Get selected text. Get selected text here. So this will give us the selected text, and we will then apply it to the text block. So native methods get selected text HTML ID, and then the text will set it as the clipboard content, which will copy it to clipboard. Right, so let's try if this works. All right, see you next time. I will be probably doing these live coding sessions now more regularly on Wednesdays around the same time. So we'll see each other next time. So have a great rest of the day. Come on, let's build. Right, so it's listening on this port and it's now running, and we can try to see if this works out. Well, so the selection is there, but we need to verify that. All right, it seems that it works. So if I copy this into clipboard, it's there. But if I run the test and paste again, we have some text in the clipboard. So it means that it has taken the contents of the selected text, copied it into clipboard, and that is exactly what we wanted. So that's pretty good. So we have implementation of these two new methods on WebAssembly. The next step would be to do the selection changed event, but we will have to probably work on that next time, because that's going to be more complicated, especially because it's directly on documents. So it will be more tricky to figure out which text block, which element it's related to update the selection on the managed side. So let's keep it like this for now, and I will make a commit with the changes that are related to our session so far. So I will do this one. We can try if the test will work, and if not, we will just mark it as Skia only. Alright, so this one, I can undo this change. Oh, I will keep it, or I will move the method below so that it doesn't make the change as big as it is now. So it should be here. So now Git should give us a smaller change. Yes, just a comment there. So this is fine. Interrupt, we need this. Selection changed, invoke. So we can invoke that event on the selection change. That's also fine. And we have it in cross runtime, so that's okay. So I think that's this. Plus we need the TextBlock TS file included. Yeah, seems good. So and copy selection to clipboard. All right, so that's the first part of this session done and dusted. And now let's undo these weird TS changes that have appeared. And we want to switch to another part of this session, which is continuing on the AppWindow positioning APIs that we started on the last live coding session. So I have still something like 30 minutes to go. So I will continue on this and then continue next time as well. Right. So last time we were working, we got stuck on implementing positioning and window sizing on GTK. But as we now know, Uno platform has kind of sidetracked GTK, and instead we are now doing X11 and native macOS and WPF. And so the problems that were facing us in case of GTK missing APIs, we don't have to care about those anymore that much, because GTK is kind of legacy now, and the latest and greatest features will be in X11. So that's the preferred choice of framework or backend for your Linux targeting Uno platform apps. Question is if there is something like an iframe to show website within my browser WASM app. And that's a great question, and I can actually answer you, because that's something I'm currently working on as well. I create a PR for this one. Sorry, just a moment. Ooh, nice, it's nice. Actually, you can do this. This is a nice feature of GitHub. You can select text and just press the backtick, and it will backtick the whole thing that's selected. That's pretty cool. Just delete this. I only need to create an issue, because everything has to be linked to an issue, right? So select all. Okay, so there's none, and copy selection to clipboard. It's not there yet, so okay. I will create an issue for it. So WASM, TextBlock, select all, and copy selection to clipboard. WASM, text related. I'm almost going to answer the question. Just don't worry, I will go back to right away. So the question is if you can do iframe based embedding of web content inside of WebAssembly applications, and the answer is yes. And the answer is also that we are working on including this right away, like a built-in feature in Uno platform. And I have an open draft PR that I'm trying to finish gradually. That's this one, and this one will bring WebView as an element into WebAssembly apps. It's working quite well, but it has limitations, and those limitations are coming from the browser. So because the browser has many security limitations, or it's making all those security considerations that you cannot embed website, just any website you want, because those websites maybe don't want to be embedded because they have some cores or some of these security blockers. You cannot do this in general for all websites, but if you host yourself your own web service, you can definitely embed the web content there. Plus you can embed HTML and CSS string of information in an iframe. So you can host static or even dynamic HTML and CSS that you yourself provide to the web view. So that's going to work, and it's going to be part of this PR. And if you want it right away, you could use you can use custom element. You can use Uno platform custom control, native control, I think. Platform native control styles. Not really. That's not what I want. Native views into version 3. Yes. And there is this guide that will show you how to do it in general. And basically the trick will be to have HTML element iframe as an attribute, and then set the source documents src doc attribute to the HTML text that you want to show. Yeah, if you have a news app and you want to show the website of news in your app, that's hard to say, because it depends if the news website, which is out of your control, has some course setting that will prevent being embedded in iframe. I don't remember exactly what like security header that is, but if they have it, then you will not be able to do it, unfortunately. What you could do is to call some of their API, get the HTML content, and then just embed it as an iframe content inside of the WebView control. But they have to have an API to get it. And it is just the general limitation of the browser. So if you have a desktop application, you don't have this problem, because it's just a native WebView control that can embed anything. And yeah. For WebAssembly, because it's running in the context of the browser, it has more limitations that are coming from the fact that you're in a browser. All right, so what we have here, I made some changes since the last time we were doing the live coding session. So there are some errors that I need to take care of. So let's do those one by one. Size changed event. This time Windows size changed event arcs, right? And we have set window on frame buffer. Set window. window and XAML root. Just a few windowing changes here. Actually, this is no longer be necessary because that method is there. Window, XAML root. So window, window. WinUI window. Ah, right. I just need to pass in the window to the base implementation, which now requires the window to be passed into the constructor. Native visibility changed. So what is this? Okay, so it should be just including that namespace, and it's visible. And this is now part of the app window itself. Yep, it's here, it's visible. And this is complaining about missing the window there. So that should be okay as well. So good. So now this should build, I hope. Oh, it doesn't. There is something more to be done here. So window, XAML root, I need to pass in the window. And here, very much likely the same thing. I need to have window reference here. And because I had it here, I need also to add that reference here. Makes sense. Oh, come on. This is native window. Native window. So this should be a native window, and native window, native window, native window, native window. Yeah, good. Let's try it again. All right, here we go. So we have added a new sample for this, right? So windowing, position and size, yes. So if I move the window, I should see, okay, so this moves the window and this changes the size somehow. The size, oh, that's interesting. But it is fine, it's working, so this is good. The position is not updating for some reason, but it's working, so size is fine. I can see the size changing. The position itself is not, and the reason for that is what? So we can app window, position and size. Oh, we are not hitting breakpoints here anymore. This is broken. Yeah, this is a current issue in the repo that we cannot set breakpoints on the samples, so I will not be able to see it there, but the position should be updating here somewhere. Location changed. Native location changed. Update position from native, yes. All right, so it's going there. Ah, right. That's the thing. I need to update the position from here. What is? Ah. Okay. I cannot select text now. So what I need to do is to do... This whole thing is kind of frozen. Let me close Visual Studio and restart because it's not cooperating. There's another question there I missed. So if you want to build a desktop app and a WebAssembly version, in order to use Uno, you have to install MAUI, even though you don't want a mobile app. Actually, there is no MAUI needed at all. Like Uno platform does not do anything and does not use MAUI at all, at all. So there is just Uno platform on top of .NET. So MAUI is on the same level as Uno platform. Those are two competing technologies, but neither MAUI does use Uno, nor Uno does use MAUI. So we are completely independent. So we're both built directly on top of .NET. So the same thing there is .NET Mobile. And if you just want to build desktop app and a WebAssembly application, then you just need just select those. You don't have to use or install .NET 8 Mobile. And you can see it here actually. If I create a test project, the keyboard is somehow wrong because it's not giving me some characters for some reason. That's weird. I'm pressing T and it does not respond at all for some weird reason. Let me switch to different. That's weird. I cannot type capital T. Why? That's not normal. Anyways, so in Docs, I'm not sure why Docs say it, but if you go to platforms and unselect all of these and just keep Windows, Desktop, and WebAssembly, you will just get Windows, Desktop, and WebAssembly. And these are the ones that require .NET 8 Mobile. But if you don't have those targets there, there should be nothing that's building against mobile. And the target frameworks will just contain .NET 8 browser WASM and .NET 8 desktop. So nothing related to the mobile, and you shouldn't need it. And if you do, that's some kind of bug because it should not be required. So please try it out. I see. And the docs say that you need to check the MAUI workload. Let's see which one gets started. Visual Studio. Yeah, so this is not MAUI. It's actually multi-platform app UI development, but it's not. It says .NET MAUI inside, but the thing that it's installing is mainly .NET 8 mobile support. But it's not. You don't use MAUI. We don't use MAUI. We just use the underlying infrastructure that MAUI is using as well. And that's why you check this checkbox when you're installing. When you want to use Uno platform. But if you don't need Android, iOS, and Mac Catalyst, you don't have to check it. This is just for targeting iOS, Android, and Mac Catalyst. And if you don't want to target those, then you don't have to check it and you don't have to install it. We just need this one for WebAssembly and this one for desktop. So this doc is assuming you want to target all of the targets that Uno platform supports. So you can skip this part if you don't want mobile. That should be fine. All right. So where was I? I cannot type capital T, which is kind of limiting because you might want that, and some specific keys don't work. So let me try to switch to another keyboard. Maybe that's gonna help. No, it seems like kind of Windows bug then. Why wouldn't I be able to type some letters? So weird. Hasn't happened before. Okay, let's close everything. Huh. Windows 11. Can't type some letters. I guess it will fail the Uno check, but you can just keep that specific check that fails and ignore it, and you should still be able to create the solution and use it. And yeah, it should be fine. I don't think that should be a problem. So accessibility. There we go. Keyboard, sticky keys. It's not on, so. Not sure what happens here. It's kind of limiting because I cannot type the letters that I want. Oh, now it works. What was this? That's super weird. I can type now normally. I don't understand what happened there. That's super odd. Okay, let's pretend this did not happen. So let's go back, close this again. Yeah, I can type now. Okay. Super weird. Toggle the switch in a gallery. So you mean gallery platform Uno? No problem, no problem. That's why I'm here. So you mean when you're toggle the switch at the bottom of the main page of the gallery. So if you switch this one, it will scroll you up on Android and iOS. This one specifically. Oh, you mean on when you run the web gallery, so you open this website on the phone browser. Let's try it. Let's see. Okay. Oh, indeed. It does that. That's not supposed to happen. And that's a bug. So if you would be so nice and reported this issue on our repository, that would be super helpful. I can do it later, but if you are up for it, then that would help us very much. So on Uno platform/Uno/issues, you can create a new issue and just explain how to reproduce this bug. But it is a bug because it does work with mouse, but this seems to be a touch-specific issue. So please, if you can, please repro or send like the steps that you need to do to reproduce this and make an issue. That would be very cool. Right. So let's see where we are here. What I wanted to do, I stopped the build. Yeah, I need to in here. I need to go to position and in base I need to call window dot. Okay, If you do it later, then I can. That's fine. And if I later don't see the issue there, I will create it myself. But it's more likely that you remember it than I, because I have so many things here during the stream. So it's probably likely that I will forget about it. So if you can remember to do it later, it will help me. So let's do this one. So on app window changed, I'll do new app window changed event arcs. Did position change true? Right, so this will trigger the app window changed event, and I will do the same thing here for did size change. All right, so that's good. And now let's see if this works on WPF properly. It's a very interesting bug. I think it might be might do something with the root visual pointer handling, and I see it does not reproduce all the time. In some, I was just able to do it without the scrolling, so it's very weird. It's very, very weird. Yeah, it's unused because we just got rid of it. We don't need this anymore. Property change handler is no longer needed. Yep. Alright, so we don't no longer need this one, and we no longer need this one. The property changed event was kind of workaround because I didn't have access to the app window from the native window, but now I have because I am passing it through to the native window wrapper. So now it's very easy to just trigger that event from the native window wrapper base directly. So I'm just triggering that change directly from here. So hopefully, if we're lucky, we should see the values updating on the sample that we have. And let's see if we can do WebAssembly. So JavaScript get window position. Screen X, screen Y. Well, maybe. What's the window position and size? And if I move it, yeah, it's updating. Nice. Okay. All right, this is working. Good. So we have the implementation working again on WPF. So rebase adjustments. I think we can include everything here except for the global JSON. Yeah. So let's try to do a quick one because we don't have that much time left. So I will try to do a quick implementation of move and resize, or at least a move on WebAssembly. We'll see if it works. Window, move to something like that. As move to. Okay, JS, move window to position. Move to, yes, so move to. Try it yourself. Okay. So if I click here and move my window, it moves. If I do this, it doesn't work because maybe it's just for external window that you open. Okay, so let's try it. I will go to AppWindow.cs. Move, so it's gonna be a method in the native app window, and we should have native implementation in native window button. Right, so it should now be failing because it's missing several new things. Right, thank you very much for creating that issue. That's very helpful, and hopefully it will get looked at soon. Very surprised. It's a very weird bug because it's not happening on mouse, just on touch. So it must be touch specific something. So okay, resize window. Okay, let's see here. You can actually try it in the console, right? Right. I don't see the console. Like this, okay. Window dot resize to 200 undefined. So it really seems that it might be just for windows that you create, but if I install this site as app and try to do it here, maybe PWAs will be more capable here. Yeah, so okay, so it has to be PWA so that you can do it with the main window as well. Right, so resize window, let's see, window manager TS. And we'll have a method called public static resize window void. Oh, you don't have to specify it apparently. So resize window, so we will have to do resize to, and it's gonna be width, height, where these two will be numbers: width, number, height, number. All right. Right, so this is simple enough. We can do move window. Move window is going to be very similar. Just move to X and Y. X, Y. And now window manager. Let's do the same thing here. Size move window. Move window, and let's keep it int instead of double for now, and Y, and this is going to be int width and int height. And then in the window implementation here, native app window. Why do I have? Oh, it should be here. Move and resize. I'll just implement it here. Move, and we'll call native methods move window position X and Y, and override resize. Yeah, exactly what I wanted. Yeah, very helpful, Copilot. So let's try to build this. Maybe there will be some errors, but so far so good. And if we are lucky, and we hopefully will be, we should see us able to move and resize the window as long as we install the app SPWA. Although there is something here. All right, right. So set window, and XAML root. I need to pass it there. Right, cancel and try again. So let me see that issue. I will check it here. Yeah, thank you. That's very nice. I will tag David. He is our input mage. He knows everything about input handling in Uno platform, so he will be able to figure out why this is not working. As do many do, because it's gonna be easy, I guess. So let's see what he says. If anyone knows, then he knows. Yeah. And I will just mention this is WebAssembly. So this is in mobile browser. So hopefully he will figure it out. All right, so let's see what happens here. I will first need to install the app here on my local machine. So we have it, Uno samples button. Okay, so we have it open as a PWA, and now we'll see what happens if we try to move the window. So I will say to move it to 0, 0. And we have something happening here. All right, so resize also happening here. Okay, so there is some error. Assertions. Not too helpful, I must say. Okay, so if I do 10 and 10, move it, still having the same error. Am I debugging here? Oh, this is frozen completely. It could be even the reason why. Why it's not doing stuff. Right. Okay, so it was frozen, but it still didn't work. So let's see, move window. We are calling the move window method, which is pointing to window manager current move window. Ah, okay. That's pretty important. I was using, I wrote it as a static method, and it is a instance one. That could be very likely the cause of the trouble. Just make sure to rebuild. And hopefully this time it's gonna work. Right, let's see. Move window, resize window, that seems all good. Resize window dot current, yeah. This all seems fine. So I don't see any big problem there, except for it being static before. So maybe now it's gonna be fine. And we can actually test it. We can check if we are hitting that breakpoint. That's a good point there. Okay, getting closer. The builds are taking a little bit longer, but as long as it works, that is fine. Okay, but we need to open it in the PWA, so here. And we would like to have developer tools side by side, and now app window position and size, and move it. Oh, okay, it moved. You can see it now. So if I do 100, it moves. Okay, that's very, very nice. 100, 100. Huh, that seems to be different, but I'm not sure what. It seems like the position has some kind of different sizing to it. Or there's a limit of what we can do. Oh, maybe, yeah, that's because it's too big. So it doesn't, oh, okay, it doesn't work because the window was too big. And if I do 100, 200, oh, that's maybe too small, so 500 and 600 size. All right, that works. That's pretty nice. 1000, perfect. All right, so we have moving and sizing for WebAssembly working now. The other way around, we should be able to get the current position and get the current size so that we can apply it and watch for its changes, but that we will do next time because I am out of time today, so I will just commit the changes. Feed, implement, app window, move, and resize on WASM. All right. Just to verify that we didn't break anything. No, it seems good, so let's push it. And with that, I will thank you very much for joining this live coding session. I hope you enjoyed it and it was useful and it was interesting, at least in some way. If you have feedback or ideas for next live coding sessions, just let me know on any social media. And until next time, have a great day. Happy coding, and we will see each other and hopefully next week on Wednesday again. So have a great one. Bye bye.